Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Bookish Artist Mandy here, and I am coming to you today with sort of a do-over, as it be. If you had a chance to watch my first film of this that I have since taken down and privated, you will know that I was not in the best of minds last week. And while that is lovely, and I did feel it was like kind of a cathartic thing, I didn't focus on what was in front of me. I was focusing more on my feelings, which is okay. And that's part of being online and sharing pieces of you, is that you share parts of you. And while it was a great thing, and nobody said that it wasn't, I sat over the weekend and thought, this was not the video I wanted to make. This was not where I wanted to focus. So I have privated my first new pen day for my Benu Euphoria Royal Thames edition, and I'm going to redo it in a way that I feel like is more who I am and kind of evolving as well. I have had this Endless Regalia paper recorder, the Endless Recorder, their notebook, for a long time. I can't remember. I bought it at the same time as this one, and this one was my original, gosh, when did I start this? My original practice journal. So I've had it since October. Yeah. So I mean, not forever, but I'm, a good 8 months. And this one's a blank one. That one's a dot grid. And I decided that I've been super inspired by others who document their pens. And I really decided that I wanted to do that. And I had been meaning to, and I just didn't sit down. And so over the weekend, I took a walk and I thought about how I would really want this video to be. And so I am starting a new notebook. I have already opened this up and I've already started my sketch lines. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I have started sketch lines, and what I tend to do when I draw with a fountain pen, or if I'm inking with a fountain pen, is I will draw out my lines, and then I will use my handy dandy little rubber eraser, and I just roll it out kind of like this. And I just roll it down. So then you're not messing with the paper. Sometimes on Leuchtturm it gets stuck, but that's my general gist, is so that you get the lines and you can use the pen in a much better way. So let's talk about the pen. I'm very excited. Benu was so gracious to send this to me. This pen has been speaking to me since I saw it, and this one is really special. Yes, it did come at the same day that my father passed away, so like it even is more special to me, but I picked this pen before I knew that was going to be a part of it. And I picked this pen because it has been one of those things. London and Britain and the UK, all of that has been with me since college. I was a literature English major, and British literature was some of my absolute favorites. So when I see Big Ben, I don't necessarily think about London. I think about all of my literature and my feelings, and this is just exquisite. And I want to share how exquisite this is. Again, I can't stop looking at this painting. And I want to also just read a little bit about this from Benu's website, because it is so special. And I think the description really captures what this pen, for one, signifies as a beautiful piece of art, but also just signifies Benu as a company and the detail and love that goes into every single one of their designs. So sit back for just a minute while I read out the description, and you can kind of see me as I'm writing the description as well with the pen. I'm very excited, and then we'll go to the next page and really talk about the pen as well. Set sail on a serene journey through the heart of London with Royal Thames, a hand-painted tribute to Britain's regal essence and timeless grace. Masterfully illustrated by artist Natalia Doronkina, this piece captures two enduring icons of the capital: the stately silhouette of Big Ben rising above the Thames, and a classic red telephone booth nestled in a cascade of golden autumn leaves. The scene is awash in soft powder blue, echoing the stillness of a crisp London morning. Every detail, from the fluttering birds overhead to the solitary rowboat drifting along the river, it invites quiet reflection. Royal Thames is more than a pen. It's a poetic pause, a love letter to London's quieter corners, rich in history, charm, and understated grandeur. I don't know of any other company out there that is creating pens with such a background in story and deep meaning, and that just speaks to me. Even one of their first pens that has been on my wish list for such a long time, the Edelweiss, it has a deep meaning to the pen and what's behind it. And I think that is what draws me to Benu pens so much. When I got one of my first pens from Benu, the Earl Grey pen, I loved that within the resin is Earl Grey tea. And I am a huge fan of London fogs, and I know that they come from London, Ontario, Canada, and not actually London, but it's all that words have meaning. Words matter, and words are something that is incredibly powerful to me, especially as a person who sometimes I don't always have the right words coming out of my mouth, but when I write, they just somehow work together. And writing has been this deep part of me for a long time. And so when I saw the pen and saw Big Ben, I was so excited because London does, for at least for me, represent all of those things that I've thought about since college. My first, even before college, but my first book that I really loved was Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. And I've talked about that before on my channel, but just when you sit in it and reflect, as this pen talks about, you can think about those things and why they matter and what matters for them. So when I was thinking about London and Britain and why I kept getting drawn to this pen, because Benu did ask me, which pens speak to you? And there were three that spoke to me in different ways. And so I said that to them. And honestly, they all speak to me for different reasons, because I'm not a person who is a minimalist. I don't know if my channel has made that clear. I'm not a minimalist. I love being surrounded by things that make me happy. And we all have our own stories of what things mean to us. I have a friend who, and this is kind of relevant to all of this because it all fits together because it's my story of my life. But I have a friend who talks about, she loves the movie Howl's Moving Castle. And I have seen the movie now finally, so I understand. And she always talks about how she does not want a minimalistic life. Her dream is to have the laboratory of Howl, like the Howl's room, where there's just everything everywhere. And that is, I mean, in some ways, not to my detriment, but that is me. I love being surrounded by the things that I love. In the hard times, I can look up and see all the dolls that mean something to me. I mean, I'm literally right now, as I'm recording this, staring at one of the Barbie dolls that I bought in a hard time, and she reminded me of different things, and she looked like something that I loved. And so there's a lot of things and reasons why things speak to me. But this pen, when I read the description, the thing about reflection and pausing and thinking about things is the reason why this pen spoke to me in such a different way than some other pens have. And I don't think when I first opened it up, I don't think I was in a place where I could pause. I was in a place of grief, and I was in a place of sadness, which is absolutely relevant and allowed. But it made me think about the wrong things. It made me think about my dad, which is fantastic, because my dad was obviously a huge part of my life, because, you know, as your parents are huge parts of your life, he was. And I even want to say that since having this pen, because I am filming this a little bit later, I use this pen with this current ink that I have in it, which is, if you haven't seen yet, I don't think nope, I'm putting it on right now in the video. It is a new ink that I actually got after I filmed my first video, which is called Sailor Shikiori Yuki-Usagi, which even that, the reason I picked up this ink has a deeper meaning, but I filled this pen and I wrote my dad's eulogy. And I wrote it with this pen, and this deeper meaning for me goes so far. And that's why these pens are so fantastic. It's why I can't stop buying Benu pens. It's why I can't stop working with them. I love working with them because maybe some of them are bright and sparkly and glittery, and they just make me happy, which they do. But this one is a special pen. And the fact that there is a person, an artist out there that took the time and the detail, and I know I've already shown the detail in this pen and the painting. I've shown it before. I've shown it. I really pulled it up and I showed you. But to look at that, I can't stop looking at the beauty that is in this pen, those little tiny details. And thinking about a pen, I mean, look at it in my hand. This pen, yes, it's a chunky pen, because Euphorias are. I love Euphorias. They are absolutely my favorite pen. I cannot say enough about how comfortable Euphorias are for my hands, and they are my most used pen. Definitely. And when I put them away for a while, I always come back to them and I'm like, why did I put these away? Because you have a lot of pens and you like to, switch things up. But the Euphorias, they're just stunning models. But looking at the delicacy of the tiny little details, there are tiny little blackbirds. And as an artist, I know how much it takes precision to get those tiny little details. This artist must work with the tiniest of paintbrushes and just have the tiniest of delicate strokes, because that is how beautiful it is. And I can't say enough of it. And I feel like I didn't pause, and I just felt compelled in the moment of sadness to create a video that wasn't what this pen is about. And so it's one of those things that I've thought about a lot in reflection and being able to get out. Reflection has been a big part of my life for the last couple years, especially in the last few months as I've been getting outside. A lot of the times leaving my sounds and everything behind and walking my dogs. And the longer we go on walks, the more I'm able to just appreciate everything around me. And so just a lot of those deeper meanings, it's kind of like this thread that is pulled through life, and my life is pulling threads. And it's all just kind of these little pieces and moments that matter so much in the end to me and to everything. So that's what this pen signifies. And that's the thing that I think I didn't really communicate as well as I could have. And when you sit back and you reflect and you take a pause, you can see the beauty in things. It's one of those beautiful things that I feel like you don't understand if you're not a journaler. You don't understand if you don't sit back and you don't take the time to draw a picture. So I am drawing in this. I had already drawn lines, and I'm coloring in Big Ben's pieces with my pen. There is something just so soothing. I have to say, there is something so soothing about coloring in an area with a fountain pen. And this one is a fine nib, so it's got a little bit longer to take, but Benus are so juicy that it's wonderful, easy flowing, and the whole time this is flowing. And if you have never used regalia paper before, it's got kind of a, I don't know, it's got kind of a cush. The best way that I feel like my pen is sinking into memory foam every time I use the pen on it. And so when you're coloring with it on this paper, it just has this weird feel. It is definitely a tactile thing, and I am a tactile person. So I highly recommend coloring something in with your pen. But I went back when I was looking at how I wanted to draw Big Ben, and there was a Domestica course that I took by an artist named Andrew Kolb, and he had this doing like gamifying rolling for your town map. Like, we made a map in his class, and you took your dice, just like in a Dungeons and Dragons game. You took your dice to figure out what your town looked like. And I loved his art style. I loved the simplicity of his art, and I definitely focused on that. I love the concept of gamifying my art, which I have done, and the class is great. It is on Domestica, and it is, I think, $10 at the most for it, but it's a great class. And so I took my studies from that course in one of my sketchbooks, and I wanted to put that style into the Big Ben on this page, because what I want to do more and more with my pens is to pause and think about why they're important and why they're special to me. I absolutely loved this pen the moment I saw it. I feel like Instagram just knows exactly what I want, and it probably is by design. You know, they know what you want. But when I open up my Instagram and Benu's posted a new pen, I just get so excited. Especially lately, it feels like Benu just keeps releasing more and more amazing pens. They just released another one this week that's limited, and I had to stop myself, even though it was a transparent pink pen. And I really, really stopped myself, because I was like, no, you don't, but you want it, but you don't, nope. I have to take a pause and think about it before I buy it, but I have been dying for a transparent pink pen. And so, I keep looking, and I know it's a limited, so I keep looking and seeing how many are left, and it may get added to my cart, but I digress. But I opened up my Instagram when I saw this pen, and this one and the Belle Paris both spoke to me in different ways. And this one, though, just, there's something about that blue. I can't tell you how much. I hope this pen speaks to other people too, because it is a piece of art in your hands, creating more art, which is just I just love the idea of that. So that's what I've been thinking about with this journal here. This journal is new, and it's been something that's been on my mind for a while. My whole journal is definitely one of those places. All my journals are one of these places where I explore and I experiment. And so I love having different journals and I love experimenting. And I just get really excited about what I can do. Now, all of these stickers, by the way, I just want to mention, all of these stickers, including the picture of the Benu pen itself, I took that one. I love that picture from their website. That's one of their promotional shots of the picture for their descriptions and everything. I took all of these photos, these pictures. Most of them are my art or clip art that I have bought rights to. And I printed them out on sticker paper, washi paper. So I did discover that I can color on top of my washi tape paper. And so it's really exciting. But I got the idea for printing on sticker paper. Who was it? It was, if you're familiar with her, it was Elizabeth at Plant-Based Bride. I think her husband was like, why don't you print your books on sticker paper? I never thought of that. I was buying... I digress, but that's where I'm going with that, is sticker paper that you can print on. Printable sticker paper. Print your pictures on it. Fantastic. Hack. Maybe other people have done it, but I didn't do it until recently, and I wondered why I didn't do it before, because I have the sticker paper. I print out my stickers on it. Why wasn't I printing like photos, like that beautiful Benu picture? Because then I have a picture of my pen in this book. I love that idea because Grace at Wildly Imaginable has been doing kind of a log of her pens. So every time I get a new pen, I'm going to put it in here as a new pen day. But I am also going to start cataloging all of my old pens. And I'm really excited that this pen is here in the front. I just love this pen. I love every single one of my Benu pens. I can't say that I love every single pen in my collection, and I am culling down my collection. But there are just a few brands that I reach for quite often. And if you have been on my channel, if this is not the first video that you have seen of me, you know that I am a inkaholic. I should probably join Inkaholics Anonymous. No, I joke. But I have more ink than I think I ever will know what to do with, but that's okay because it's something I love. Again, back to I'm not a minimalist, and I love being able to have an abundance so I can share with others. I mean, if you don't have an abundance, you can't give a pen, a fountain pen, to every single one of your students in your class, which I did. And yes, they were cheap pens, but it made their whole life. Like I have students who are still telling me that I've talked to them after, they're still telling me they were so grateful for the pen. So I don't see it as something where it's too much and it's consumerism and it's over consumerism. I see it as something that is part of me and it's who I am. And I'm not taking it for granted. I am still learning and trying, and I love to try new things, and I love to experience things, but then I find these ones that just matter, and I keep reaching for them. And that's my Benus, but I have to have, at least 20 pens inked because I just love color and ink. And so this one is definitely one that I am really excited about. I have already had to, after writing my father's eulogy, doing this page and doing a couple other things, because I've been sketching and drawing and writing with this for 2 days straight. I did have to refill it this morning. So there is that as well. But it's a great pen, and I am just so grateful to Benu for continuing to work with me and letting me share my love for their pens and their company, because they care about what they're making. It's clear in all the details, like with the hand painting and the meticulously picked color, because they have a story behind it. And as a storyteller myself, and as a person who was raised by a man who had so many stories and life experiences to share, and in a way that I took for granted, even to this day, I'm so sad that I took it for granted. It's just wonderful. And so I really appreciate it. And I really thank Benu so much for working with me and continuing to work with me and being in my corner while I work through life, because that's what this is about, right? We are either planners who are trying to plan our life. We are artists who are trying to document our life through art, or however, because our art is always an extension of ourselves. Or we're journalers who are trying to document our life through the written word. And all of those are beautiful. And I think that's one of the things about pens that is so much fun. I don't want to use a Bic pen. I don't want to use one of those like gel pens and things. Like, people who aren't in this community, and this just came to me, people who aren't in this pen community don't understand the deep love that we have, because this, in a way, a pen is an extension of ourselves, right? It is an extension that we use to write down. Even our schedule is important to us. And so I just wanted to think about that. And that's why I sat back and I reflected on what this pen meant to me. And I'm really grateful that the pen even has a story to it. And that's the great thing about Benu. So I just wanted to say that with all of this. And I hope you enjoyed my thoughts and my reflections, and more of a calm video with a voiceover. And here I am showing you this lovely pen again. It is available exclusively at Benu. It is a Benu exclusive. It is hand painted by an artist, and it is stunning. So the link for it is down in my description if you would love to look at this pen or check out some of the other pens Benu has, because their stories are incredible. The pens are incredible. And it's just, yeah, I'm just blown away every time I get a new Benu pen. And yeah, so I thank you so much for being here and being around me while I work through everything. If you made it through the video, leave me some sort of time emoji, a watch emoji, or, you know, a phone for the phone booth. But have a great one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.